The Four Flushers by Cleves Kinkead. Originally produced by the Harvard Dramatic Club on March 31st, 1914. The hour is well along in the afternoon of an early winter day, and the scene is laid in the receiving room of the Cunningham Suite on Fifth Avenue. The doorway has heavy tapestry curtains on each side of it, drawn up on the inside of the room. A handsome couple, rather sophisticated in appearance, dance with abandon. Finally, the man shuts off the phonograph and picks up his drink.
Oh, I know, Muriel, darling. There's an atmosphere about all our best homes, which only those to the manner born can sense.
Oh, Vincent, the difference between my husband and you is the difference between the bourgeois and the gentleman.
Wise little girl, you know the reality of distinctions. And darling, what rapture. Can you not feel the reality of affinity? Oh, it is this natural affinity between us which makes our love a holy thing.
Don't call our love a holy thing, Vincent Delaney.
But is it not so?
Oh, yes, perhaps. But it's just what Henry Cunningham said when he bought me for his wife. It's a bitter moment in a woman's life when she hears her lover talking just as her husband did.
Well, what do you expect a mere man to say?
Say, we don't care what men say. What women want today is action. No, don't be crass. I meant resolution, decision.
But Muriel, you must know why I've not insisted on an elopement.
Perhaps you thought I wouldn't elope?
Oh no, I've always been certain you would, to be frank, but I know how dependent you are for happiness on money, and I have none.
Oh, Vincent, why didn't you tell me that you had no money right at first?
Because that's always the last thing I ever tell anyone.
But you need not have kept it from me. If money is all that is keeping us apart, we can elope in 10 minutes.
But Muriel, you know how you have to have money.
Yes, and I have it too.
You have it. You mean your husband has it.
No, I mean just this, that before I married Henry Cunningham, I exacted an unconditional settlement on me of $1 million.
$1 million? Unconditionally? Oh, for better or worse.
Yes, and now that our obstacle is removed.
Oh, but is it altogether removed?
Have I not money enough for us both? $1 million?
Well, yes, that's quite enough, but think of my birth and breeding, Muriel. I have a delicacy about living on another. I am a gentleman.
But gentlemen have lived on other people since the world began.
Oh, you darling, your cleverness is unanswerable. Your beauty irresistible. You can do as you like with me. Think of the wonder of love, Muriel, my sweet. Here I am, a strong man, like a child in your hands. But I shall go to the ends of the world and snap my fingers in its face. That is, we shall go. We shall go.
Well then, let's go while the going's good.
Yeah, this madness born of joy. It is your wish, my dear?
Yes, I am a practical woman, Vincent, and what I want, I go after. Now, Mother will be in from Newport today, and she's awfully prejudiced against this sort of thing. You know how the old families look on elopements, especially if one is married. And Henry may be in at any moment. So there is no time to lose. You go pack a bag while I'm getting a few things together, then come back here in a taxi. Hurry up now.
Au revoir, fearless little warrior. I'll be back in a few minutes. Oh, what a snap. Onward, Christian soldier.
Like master, like man, sir. You rang, sir?
Yes, but Fuller, I just happened to get behind that curtain and I found it very embarrassing to leave.
I understand, sir. I just happened to get behind that one and found it impossible to leave.
You know as much as I do then.
Yes, sir. That is about what has just happened here.
A most unfortunate situation, Fuller.
But not altogether uncommon, sir.
Oh, well, I'm completely surprised.
Yes, sir. The husband always is, sir.
You've had experience in these affairs then, Fuller?
I've served in some of the best homes in New York, sir.
Oh, yes, I see. But have you heard my wife talking before with her friend, her lover? What shall I term him? Her
Affinities, they are called now, sir.
Yes, thank you. Have you heard them or seen them together before?
I came here to work only yesterday, sir. But judging from their way with one another, they had become well acquainted at that time, sir.
Yes, Fuller, I say, did they talk of eloping then?
Not so definitely, sir.
You haven't heard them saying where they meant to go?
They mentioned paradise, sir.
Paradise? Paradise? Oh dear, that makes me so uncomfortable.
On a trip to such a place, none of us would like to be left out, sir.
Well, they will go to no such place. I shall prevent them, Fuller. Mark my words, I shall prevent them. When I was a younger man, I was accounted one of considerable spirit.
Have a care of that brandy, sir.
Remember, Fuller, you are my butler.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. But no one could be better qualified to speak of the effects of that brandy than your butler, sir. When Mr. Delaney comes back here for Mrs. Cunningham, it may cause you to lose your temper.
Lose my temper? Indeed. I mean to show them quite a bit of temper. I shall kill them.
Begging your pardon, sir, but you mustn't kill them.
Indeed. And why not?
It's no longer done, sir.
No longer done?
No, sir, not in the best families, sir.
But am I to let him walk off with my wife when I've only had her for 5 months myself?
Begging your pardon, sir, but how many of her suitors did you kill before you could win your wife?
One doesn't kill a rival to win a woman.
Exactly, sir. And killing this one after marriage won't help you to keep her. You see, sir, when a husband butchers a lover, it only makes the wife angry. After such a deed, the relations of husband and wife are strained, not infrequently strained, sir. Something seems to come between them, and slowly but surely the pair will drift apart.
Dear, how you do go on, Fuller. You seem to be something more than a butler. One might think that you were an authority on life.
You approve of my philosophy, sir?
Well, yes, or I suppose so, but it all seems a little strange coming from a butler.
That's because the opportunities for philosophical discourse between master and man are so limited, sir. There is nothing that I enjoy more than discourse and repartee, but though I move in its atmosphere, I am not of it. Often, sir, as I walk among the guests in a drawing room, I am inspired by the conversation. Good things to say occur to me, sir. Rejoinders, snappy rejoinders, and all manner of quips, and often very subtle cynicisms, sir. But only fancy with what general disfavor I should meet if I attempted to engage in the repartee.
Pardon me, Fuller. I see that you like to talk and you talk well, but naturally I'm a bit nervous, upset, and
And yes, I'm coming to that, sir. I know how a husband feels when his wife is about to leave with another man. Mine did it, sir, my first wife, years ago.
Oh, indeed. I knew there was something drawing us together, Fuller. Tell me, when she left you, what did you do?
I pursued the pair, sir, and overtook them.
But you counsel more pacific action on my part.
Yes, sir, but I had to give my wife something that she had neglected to take with her.
And what was that?
The baby, sir. I've never seen either since. Yet to say that I'm an unhappy man would be to say that one's second wife is not as good a gamble as the first one.
But no man likes to lose his wife, Fuller.
Or is it, sir, that he doesn't like to feel that another man can take her away from him? Perhaps that's why he'll be more concerned with killing the other man than holding the woman. Of course, there may be other ways of looking at these things, but I'm a philosopher.
Then tell me what to do, Fuller.
But a philosopher does not tell one what to do, sir. He rather discourses on what one should have done. Seeing a troubled man, a philosopher will dwell on the futility of being worried. But in an emergency, he suggests no definite plan of relief.
Well, who would then? A policeman?
Even he might have his limitations, sir. I fear, sir, that a man who will settle $1 million on his prospective wife is beyond the comforts of philosophy.
A string to it. Eureka! Eureka!
Yes, sir. Eureka, sir.
Fuller, there is a string to it. You have given me the cue. There he comes, Fuller. I have an idea. Show him right in here.
Already, my angel.
Well met by an outraged husband rather than a guilty wife. But I'm not angry. Let us reason together. You have come from my wife, I believe.
Oh, yes, I believe that's the idea. But may I ask how you learned of our plans?
Well, certainly. I've just been talking the matter over with Mrs. Cunningham.
What's that?
Yes. You see, Muriel was under the impression that a prenuptial settlement, which I made with her, would hold even if she left me. I was pointing out to her that as the papers read, she could only have her money by also having me.
But what had this to do with me? I didn't come here to discuss your finances. I'm too much of a gentleman to discuss money. I'm here simply to elope with your wife.
Well, pardon me if I've misjudged you, but sometimes gentlemen desire money as much as they desire other men's wives.
If you want me to believe your story, you must show me the settlement papers.
These papers will prove to you that my wife must have married me because she happened to be attracted by the glitter of my soul as it sparkled in the sun.
Capital, sir. Very good indeed. A striking cynicism. Really, sir, I couldn't have done it better myself.
He's quite a talker.
Yeah, something of a listener too.
You see there, and read that. And that also. It cannot possibly be construed otherwise. If she leaves me, she doesn't get a cent. I wonder why people so frequently take me for an ass.
That's easy. It's the way you look.
My experience in legal matters teaches me that a lawyer's reputation rarely helps his client. It's character that counts. Never mind your lawyer's reputation, just so his character is bad.
Well, you certainly picked a winner to draw up this settlement, and your wife and her mother think they have got you sewed up in a sack.
Yes?
I'm no more of a gentleman than you are. Just between two crooks, I'm the slickest four-flusher that ever graduated from the tea dances.
Then you're neither a gentleman nor a society man.
Certainly not.
Then I don't believe that any decent married woman would elope with you if she knew it. And I'll tell my wife.
She won't believe you. Why, the first time she saw me at the cabaret, she thought that I was the one chance of her life to get into society.
But she's in society, always has been.
Oh, if she had been, she would not have thought that I was.
But Muriel is the daughter of Mrs. Van Fleet, villa at Newport and all that sort of thing.
Say, have you ever seen that villa or Mrs. Van Fleet?
Well, no, but I've been giving Muriel money for them both.
Ah, dear little Muriel, she told me all about her old Knickerbocker family too, and the villa by the sea, and I pretended to believe it, all the while trying to find out about her money. And when she finally told me about the $1 million, oh, I never knew that it really meant to love until then. See here, Cunningham, let's be frank and get down to business. Give me $1,000 and I'll never go near your wife again.
This is blackmail.
Blackmail without witnesses is like a pleasant discourse in a rose garden.
But $1,000 is a great deal of money.
It's not as much as you would have to pay William J. Burns to watch me.
But I haven't nearly so much money as people think.
Oh, cut it. $1,000 more or less is nothing to you. Why can't we get together on this? I'll tell you what, give me the money and hold out on her for that amount next time she asks you for money.
I brought this home to give her in the morning. I meant to keep her in good humor against some bad news that I'll have. $1,000, all new, see? I'll tell you, we'll split up this money of Muriel's between us, 500 each as balm for the disappointment that she gave us both.
Oh, that's always what I have to expect. I always have to divide up every time I operate. All right. Shake hands.
Most extraordinary, most extraordinary.
How long have you lived in New York?
Less than a year.
Well, you'll know before long that little old New York is full of ginks just as extraordinary as I am. But I must be getting along before Muriel comes into this room to elope. It would never do for her to see us together. If you really want to hold your wife, you don't want to let her know that you ever saw or heard of me. Forgive her, but don't let her know that you forgive her. For there's some things that no women can forgive a man for forgiving her. It just convinces the woman that the man is a nut about her and she'll do as she pleases. Now you better get that door before she comes.
Hadn't you better leave her a note to say that you've backed out of the elopement?
No notes to women for me. I very nearly had to marry one once just for a pen scratch. She'll just think that I never came and draw her own conclusions.
But Fuller knows that you came.
Yes. Ring for him and get out. I'll just tell that damn blackmailing sneak to tell her I've decided not to go with her.
You rang, sir?
Yes, I have a message from Mrs. Cunningham.
Yes, sir. I heard it all, sir.
I'll trust you for that.
Aye, sir, and I did admire your ability to turn a phrase, sir. When you said that blackmail without a witness was like a pleasant discourse in a rose garden, it struck me as a most expressive epigram, sir.
Yes?
And begging your pardon, sir, but what might you say to blackmail where there happened to be a witness, sir?
I've seen you before.
Yes, sir. I was the witness to one of your earliest and most elastic marriages, sir. Surely you remember me.
What are you looking at?
That tiny scar, sir, over your left eye, where you were struck by that girl's brother. I didn't know you at first, sir, but now the whole case comes back to me. It was all hushed up, too, and you left town for quite a while, sir.
Well, you keep your mouth shut.
I can do it, sir, but there are tricks in all trades. And a man must live, sir.
Now, mind, you'll keep quiet.
Oh, yes, sir. All right, ma'am. They've both gone. Here now, my lady. This will pull you together.
Oh, Fuller, wasn't it terrible? A dozen shots, one right after the other, Fuller. And oh, when I ducked behind that curtain and found you there, oh, the shock of that.
I'm very sorry, my lady.
And Vincent Delaney, the low dog, the loathsome beast. There was always something about his face that I didn't like. I wonder why I didn't notice it sooner. Oh, I had to have someone to play with. And the really attractive men, the men worthwhile. Fuller, have you noticed that?
Noticed what, my lady?
That the men worthwhile don't run after married women.
I dare say they mean no affront, ma'am. They're probably busy with other things.
Well, that's it, Fuller. And the devil finds mischief for idle hands. Now, I suppose that I am not the only woman who was ever bored with her husband.
I knew one other well.
And who was that?
My first wife, ma'am.
Did the marriage end unhappily?
No, ma'am. We were divorced.
Yes. Fuller, you would not tell me that I'm a really bad woman, would you?
Oh, no, ma'am. No man in service would tell his lady that.
Well, at least I know now where I made my mistake.
A great many women do make matrimonial mistakes, and they turn out sometimes happily.
Well, now I'm going to make the most of the bargain. And Fuller, I don't want my husband to know that he knows, because he doesn't want me to know that he knows.
Oh, yes, I see. Neither one of you were able to fool the other, so you're going to fool yourselves. And it's not a bad idea, ma'am, for self-deception is the cornerstone of matrimony.
Fuller, you don't seem altogether like a butler to me. I'd rather you wouldn't call me my lady. It doesn't seem natural.
It isn't natural, ma'am. It's civilized.
How is everything, Fuller?
All right, sir. Just sit steady in the boat. She's found a snug harbor, sir, and is casting her anchor.
Well, I hope it holds fast, Fuller, for there's going to be an awful storm in the morning.
How's that, sir?
Shh. Draw near. This has been a day of disillusionments. First, I find that my wife is untrue to me. Then I learn that she's not the person that she's pretended to be. And then I find that even her lover was what was the term you used? It's a
Four-flusher, sir.
Yes. And now I'm beginning to wonder if even I may not have placed myself, what might I say, or may not have placed myself in a false light.
Say not so, sir. Surely I am not the only person here who is strictly on the square, sir.
I'm afraid you are, Fuller. But in order that you might lose nothing from the wreck, and to keep your goodwill,
Then you're not a millionaire, sir?
I drew my last $1,000 out of the bank today, Fuller.
And you gave half of that to Mr. Delaney, sir?
No, not much I did. That was bogus paper I handed him. What's the matter, my man?
Nothing, sir. Nothing but the shock, sir. But seeing your finish, sir, would you mind telling me how you got your start, sir?
I came from the great Middle West, Fuller, about a year ago with $56,000 in real money. When I got through telling who I was, people wanted to meet me. Several women wanted to marry me, but Muriel seemed, I don't know, somehow she made me believe that she really cared for me, and not for my millions. Perhaps it was because she was, I don't know, she made me think that so many other millionaires were trying to marry her. All her friends were men of money, that is.
Yes, sir. I know the type, sir. Millionaires who run out of car fare and borrow $3 from small capitalists in order to make the little fellows feel at ease with them.
Be that as it may, Fuller, when I found my wife in that man's arms, it gave me the one biggest surprise of my life. There's no fool like an old fool, but oh, there is a balm in Gilead. Revenge is sweet to the mildest man. She has been stung as well as I. Do me a favor, Fuller.
Gladly, sir.
When I'm gone, tell Mrs. Cunningham that I shan't be worried if she doesn't pay the rent for this suite.
Yes, sir. Anything more, sir?
That's all. I leave in the morning. Until then, my troubles do not begin.
They're not receiving anyone, ma'am.
Oh, that's all right. I'm her mother. I'll go right to her room.
I can't allow that, ma'am.
I guess you're a pretty fresh butler, aren't you? I'm her mother, I tell you. Well, of all the nerve, you must be new to the butler business. Say, you never worked in swell places before, have you? I want you to know that I am a lady, I am, and I won't take any impudence from a damn butler.
If this don't beat hell. Don't you know me after all these years, Marie?
George Thompson, but this is one knockout. But you see where I've landed the kid you threw at me, don't you? May God be thanked that you didn't keep her. But honest to Moses, George, didn't you know her at all?
I haven't seen her since she was a month old, and I've only been here 2 days, and I'm leaving tomorrow.
Well, don't wake her up. She'll have enough disillusionments in time.
Oh, yes, they'll be coming, doubtless.
Gee, ain't it some world to think that Muriel Cunningham, Muriel Van Fleet Cunningham, is none other than your little Sadie. Believe me, I haven't been living on Manhattan Island all my life for nothing. I'm responsible for her getting into this nest. And now I've come to get mine. I guess we won't shake the old gink down. He's simply nutty about Sadie. And when we get through pulling his leg, he'll be able to take one step from the Bronx to the Battery. Let me put you next, George. He's rolling in money.
Oh, yes, so I'm told.
And ain't it lucky that I took the kid instead of you? You never would have gotten her into anything like this.
I hope not. I mean, probably not. I'll admit that you are a clever woman, Marie.
Clever ain't the word for it, George. I'm profound. And up to this moment, I haven't even let him see me.
You'd better not let him see you now either.
Why not? I'm not such a gloom at all to look at.
No, it isn't that. I was thinking you'd better come back here tomorrow afternoon, after I'm gone, see?
I guess you're right. I'll beat it back to my Newport villa by the sea on West 183rd Street. I'm a good soul, George. Didn't I take good care of you? You had nothing to complain about up to the day I left you.
I didn't complain then. That is, Marie, oh, I took it in the right spirit.
Well, I'm off. Take care of Sadie and don't let that old Mark get run over by a streetcar until I get to him tomorrow.
And don't forget to come back tomorrow.
Trust me, tomorrow. Till then.
Tomorrow. She'll be just in time to pay the rent.